There was another gun ban, as everyone has heard the news nonstop. But basically, when we recorded the last podcast, it hadn't happened yet. We knew it was happening any day, but we didn't know exactly when or if maybe they would not do it. So there was a gun ban.
Yeah, that's right. So March 7th, the government announced that they were adding a list of 179 more makes and models to the prohibited list. Now, granted, most of the guns on this list were the M1 or variants of. There's also two different amnesty dates. So you've got the first gun ban back in May of 2020, another list out with 324 more models in December of 2024. Both of those gun bans have an amnesty date of October 30th, 2025, this coming fall. Now, this new gun ban list has a new amnesty date of March 1st, 2026, so next year. So I know there's been a lot of confusion over all that. Of course, it's clear as mud for gun owners, but I'd hate to see somebody get themselves in some trouble. So yes, Associate Minister of Public Safety Rachel Bendayan held a press conference. It was actually kind of comical. We can speak freely on the podcast here, but she wasted like a half hour rearranging the set to accommodate all these anti-gunners she brought with her. And you and I have done many parliamentary press conferences. You send in your requirements. You know, this is what I need. This is how many people are coming. She had people there from the, docs that hate gun owners. Polly was there, the Danforth families, the mosque people. She had everybody. And it was like 37 minutes or something of them, rearranging the set. So by the time she got started, she only had time to read her announcement and then take a couple of questions. But she had planned for all these anti-gun lobby groups to be able to also speak. So the press gallery shut her down on that, which was kind of comical and my favorite part of it. But just a total comedy of errors. This totally symbolic of how this government operates, right?
It's just like, you know what? Let the press corps wait. Let everyone in the country that's waiting to hear this announcement or whatever, let them wait until we're ready to stroll out there half an hour, 35 minutes, whatever it was late. They have just so much contempt. And it's strange because you think about if you have kids and if they're older and you're trying to instill some values, you see, some of us still have values here in Canada. You're like, hey, if you tell someone you're going to be somewhere, you know what I mean, at a certain time, you be there, man. Like you have to be there. Yeah. It's not an option. If you commit to somebody, much less probably, 100,000 people that are waiting for this announcement because it impacts them.
Yeah, you've got the whole press gallery there, legacy media, everybody waiting, and they're all just standing around. And the problem is, when that's going on, they're not able to do other work. So you could tell the press gallery was a little testy with her and just totally refused to let any of the anti-gun lobbyists read their speeches.
By adding more semi-automatics into our communities. And that is why I am here today. Thank you.
Merci.
I would now...
Merci. Thank you. On va maintenant passer à la période des questions.
We'll now go to questions. Oh, I have a few more things to say, if you'll allow.
We'll be speaking now from the Canadian Doctors for Protection from Guns, followed by a number of other speeches, and I will then proceed to questions.
Madame la Ministre, il est déjà 11h40. Ça a commencé très en retard.
Madam Minister, we've started rather late. I think we should move directly to questions. And it is the press gallery that is moderating this event. So we'll go to questions.
And there's a great video by SoapBoxGuns where he did this beautiful takedown of all the lies in her press conference. She said things like, the violent gun crime rate is going down since they've started banning guns. And it must be because, less guns out there in society, so less violence. And it's hilarious because he breaks it down with some numbers from the gun blog showing that there's actually more guns owned at this point than there ever has been in history. Because, of course, every time they're about to ban stuff, everybody's going out and rush buying everything. He does a great video of it. It's totally worth the watch. It's not very long, but it's well worth it. And what's really interesting is when she did the press conference, she said, this is in effect immediately, which means right now, instantly. And then, of course, proceeded to not release the list of these guns until later in the day. So, I'm thinking, what if you're at the range and then you hear that there's some gun ban going on, but you have no idea? I mean, I guess there'd be ways around that, but just a total fiasco. She even made mention of the SKS and it being a former weapon of war now used for hunting. But of course, with an election looming, they decided not to ban it this time around, and I'm sure they'll catch it should they be successful in the upcoming election. So,
Yeah. Well, the reason that she gave was that many Indigenous are using it for hunting.
Yeah.
So then it must not be dangerous. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things that were designed for one purpose, and of course, eventually used for other things. A Jeep is a great example, right? It was a car of war, an SUV of war. And now, of course, I have a Jeep Cherokee sitting in my laneway. So things evolve, but apparently not liberal talking points. So, yeah.
Anyway, lecture's over. Thank you for listening to that. It's really important. I don't want to lose again, man. We only can do so much over here. It's your guys' time to shine. It's your guys' time to take that 1-2 hours of effort, 3 hours, 4 hours of effort. If you got to drive someplace or whatever, stand in line to make this happen. We got to do it. It's do or die now. So thanks very much, everyone, for listening. Thanks so much for your support. Take care. We'll see you in the next one.